welcome. This is the Tiffany's Fitness Podcast, a podcast where I talk to coaches, athletes, and strength enthusiasts about strength, coaching, life, balance, and more. My name is Tiffany, and today's guest is Peter Curtis, who's actually my second returning guest on the podcast. You might know Peter on Instagram and YouTube. He does some really, really impressive bench pressing and single arm snatching. He's a really awesome athlete, so definitely check him out, and also just enjoy the episode. I'll check back in with you at the end. You lifted an elephant today and like that sort of a thing, which I think is fun.
I used to track total volume, kind of a bit.
I did a lot when I was doing sport. I would like calculate how much weight I wanted to move in my 10-minute set, and I would try to always move more than how much I wanted to move in my 10-minute set. And
what's the most you've ever done in a workout?
I have no fucking idea. I'm sure it was a lot because it was when I was training my 20K snatch. That was like how I was like, because it's hard to do like a lot of long sets, and it was really tearing me up, like hands wise. It was tearing me up. And so I was like, okay, well, I can't do how I would train for a 16 snatch. Like that's just like physically it was too much on my, it was
16,000 pounds or
no
16 kilo,
16 kilo snatch. So like, but when I do that, I could do like 16, like I could do 3 sets of 6 minutes, which is like, and maintain 20 reps per minute for those entire workouts.
Sets of, so 120 sets, 360 times however many kilos.
160 times 16, so it's like almost, it's like 5,700.
Okay, that's a lot. That's over 10,000 pounds, right?
Kilos, yeah, would be times 2.2. It's 12,000 pounds.
And then like a snatch is like also not like a movement that you can just like do a ton of weight with.
No, so like that, and then I did that with and I would just do that with a 20K. So, but I would just end up having to do shorter sets because I can't do 3. I couldn't. I still can't. 3 sets of 6 minutes like I could do with a 16 snatch because 16 snatch feels relatively easy for me.
I don't think I could do that with a 16. My cardio is not very good though.
I mean, I don't think I could do it today. Now I still have I have pretty solid conditioning generally, but I don't have sport conditioning at the moment because I'm lifting bench pressing, and that's sort of my main thing, and I'm using sport as a conditioning sort of side quest versus like my main focus, because it was my main focus through May because I did a competition, which was, but I didn't end up really doing volume style training for that one because I just didn't. I only snatched a 16, and I can generally whip out a 16 snatch.
What's the heaviest that women can compete with?
24.
24? Is that the same?
What? No, men's 32 is professional class. But like Kim Fox is lifting double 28s, which for long cycle, which is, I don't know how much she's competing with that, but I know that she lifts double 28s and sometimes double 32s. She's amazing.
Yeah, that's like great to me. But I'm also like not in those streets. I just have like the 44 and then like a 20-pound kettlebell, and that's all I have.
Yeah, I don't know that I don't think she's doing a lot of like long sets, but with that sort of stuff, but she's amazing. She's like such an incredible athlete, but she was in such a niche sport that nobody knows.
I've never heard of her. Yeah.
No, she's like our like American. She's the best in America for sure. I think she might have won at the World Championships, like that happened. I think so. There's one in Poland because Aiden was out there too. I don't remember, but I think she did really well. I think she might have. I don't know. She did a great job, but like regardless,
at the very least,
like she's such she's so incredibly strong, and it's just like no one no one realizes because she's just like in this sport that like maybe 500 people give a shit about.
It's like an even smaller microcosm of like more mainstream strength sports, because also like mainstream people also don't care about any strength sport, right? Like you can show
except for right now.
But I mean, I could walk down the street with a picture of Lasha, right? And I'd be like, "Do you know who this is?" And no one would know who it was. Do you know who Lasha is? You know who Lasha is, right?
So I recognize the name.
He's the like clearly strongest weightlifter, like probably ever in like Olympic weightlifting. So I think he lifts tomorrow.
Oh, I was like, I'm sure it's like a person I would see, like, oh, that guy.
If there's been any footage of training halls videos, and there's like one really big Georgian dude, that's Lasha.
Yeah, I'm sure. I've been watching I've been watching the strength stuff.
Right? Like, I think
watching a lot of running.
I think he could clean and jerk over 600 right now, but there's just no need to like do it because like he just like already. He's
like, why
overexert myself? Whatever. You know, like the you've seen the guy in this like way too small singlet, the Russian guy from like the 80s. And what he did is he would just break his record by 1 kilo every single competition, so he got to set like 50 or 60 records when he could like clearly do way more, but doesn't matter because
it's why push it if you can win. It's like it's Katie Ledecky who has like the top 20 records in her sport. It's so impressive. Have you been watching the Olympics? Because I just cry like all the time.
I watched a little bit of the running. I'll get to see the weightlifting like in clips and stuff later. Then I think that's a better way of digesting it than like the Olympic format. Maybe I should just watch just to support though. They were going to pull it out of the Olympics, and it's kind of new news that it's going to make 2028, which is exciting. I might try and get tickets to that.
Yeah. It would be. I feel like why would they take out a weightlifting when
it's super dirty?
But like they have handball in there, which is a sport that like 7 people care about. Why are you taking out the weightlifting, the Olympic weightlifting? I don't care. That's why kettlebell.
You should just give an exemption for weightlifting specifically. They should be like, just you guys can choose. There was one like event where they test the samples retroactively, and if you pop hot retroactively, they'll strip your medal retroactively. Eventually, got a 9th place finisher got a medal because 6 people got popped on the
just accept it. Just accept it. It's part of it. But I think that's also like why you'll never see stuff like kettlebell sport, because people are like, well, kettlebell sport, and I'm like, first of all, who the fuck wants to watch 10 minutes of sport? There's, like I said, 500 of us. Nobody likes to come. Like, we all love it because we all know, but nobody wants to watch it. I get it. It's like watching a marathon. Nobody wants to watch the whole marathon. It's boring. It's not entertaining. But also, it's a Russian sport, and what are they doing? Like, we all know what they're doing.
It's also not something that like anyone can look at a 16-kilo kettlebell and be like, I can put that over my head. Like, the impressive part isn't the weight; it's the
endurance and the technique to maintain it.
Which same with the running, but they can't take out the marathon because that was the first event.
Yeah, I mean, I love watching the short runs, the like 400s, the 100s. They're so fun.
I did too.
On Saturday I ran like 3 miles, and then I came home and I watched the like 4x400 relay or something, and they were running their miles like they ran. It was a relay, so they all ran like a lap or whatever. But they ran it in like 4 minutes or something stupid, and I was like, man, like I just ran like they all. So what's the point of what I'm doing?
One of my favorite parts of the Olympics is watching the person get laps and then knowing that person would crush you. Like,
yeah. Yeah. Like I was just like, man, there's just there like I can't do shit. Like
nope.
no.
That's how I feel.
It's probably why they wouldn't put in any of the other sports though too. I was thinking if they're the weightlifting, that's why they wouldn't put in like a deadlift
probably
or
not gonna now.
yeah.
It's just like yeah, I mean, it's like there's also like designer drugs and state sponsored like doping programs where like they're not popping hot because it's a compound that they don't test for because only this country has the compound. And okay, so like they won't know until they find out about the compound and then they'll retroactively test and they'll be able to detect it. But like Bulgaria was really good at 81. They just like you took like 30 pills a day of steroids.
So many steroids.
That's like just from a volume of filling your stomach. That's like
like a
meal.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's too much. Yeah. Also, like I can't imagine. I also like imagine like if you are the guy who was in 9th place and got a medal, like that doesn't feel good.
Woohoo! They didn't catch me.
I mean that, but also like 6 people in front of me, like who lifted more than me and beat me. It's just like, okay, like thanks, like that's cool. I'll put that in my IG bio. But like,
I think they don't send them a medal either. They just say you did
yours
it
now. Yeah, because what? Yeah, it's like that just feels like so wildly unsatisfying as a weightlifter because like I wouldn't want to like win however many months or years later.
Yeah.
And then
I think it was years, yeah.
And then be like, okay, what do I do with that information?
I don't know, try and coach people. Like
Yeah, I guess.
You get to put on your IG, Olympic medalist.
Yeah, that's what I said. You update the IG bio and that's what you get. Congratulations.
Like being funny is just probably objectively better than just like Olympic medalist, but you're just like Olympic medalist.
I mean, I would still put it in there, but I would still be like, yeah.
Olympian's already pretty good, to be fair. But
yeah, I mean, at least put the Olympian in there. You're pretty.
Yeah. If it wasn't for the problem of like kids, them giving like drugs to kids at like 10, like so that they can compete in the Olympics, I think they should just do it untested. But it just encourages like underage doping if you allow untested. But like there was like a study where they like asked Olympians if they would die in 5 years but be guaranteed gold. If you took a pill, if you would guaranteed gold, die in 5 years, do you take it? Like 60 or 70% of people say they take it. And that's like, you think you're going to police these people for taking steroids? No shot.
Yeah, it's the top of the game. Like I get that level of competitiveness. I feel it. I don't know. 5 years. 5 years feels a little tight, but would you?
To win the Olympics?
No. Did you ever want to go to the Olympics?
Press 400 pounds, maybe. That'd be so raw. Like, bro.
That's fair. Was that like ever a thing you wanted to do? Like
go to the Olympics? Remotely competitive weightlifting. There was like a period where
I mean, just like as anything though, like because I never wanted to go as a weightlifter, but I've been like an athlete.
There's been no sport that I've been remotely competitive in that I could that was like in the Olympics.
It was interesting.
I was also like really late to the like athletics party in terms of like I did basically no athletics as a kid until I was like 14. And then I like joined football and I lifted a bit and then I got like really strong really fast because I was radically willing to just eat a lot.
Yeah.
I think I've told you about this. I just like the first month I put on 30 pounds.
I'll do it.
70 pounds in the first like 3 or 4 months, which is like a lot of weight really fast. I got really strong really fast. And then
yeah. I always like that was always like a thing though, because I played soccer and I watched the women's soccer teams growing up. So I always was like, I want to be like Hope Solo.
The
And
real football.
then she turned out to not be as good as we had hoped. She was like beating her husband. She was a goalkeeper for the USA women's team.
Well,
she was my hero for a really long time.
There's got to be some
soccer.
good jokes in there. The fact that she's a goalkeeper and she beat her husband, something about catching these hands. Catching balls, to catch these hands.
I think that was a thing because I was like on
There's
Tumblr at
memes.
the time. Yeah, I'm sure there was. It was pre when I was like into understanding memes, it was before the time. But I'm sure there are some real messed up Twitter jokes that I missed out on. She was phenomenal. She was a phenomenal athlete. I don't know what she's doing now.
She had great hands.
She really did like I know it's not great, but she was really good.
One might even say she could take on the men.
Well, at least one.
Yep, at least one.
Yeah, I don't remember all the context around it, but I remember being so devastated. And now I'm like, she's just I don't attach hopes and dreams to celebrity at this point.
Yeah, it's.
But at like 15, that's what you do. Yeah.
Because you're trying to figure out who you are, and then you're like, I'm just like this person, and then you figure out.
You're like, oh no,
I'm not a good person. I mean, like, so many people who are like really, really good at stuff are just like terrible people or fucked up people.
Oh
like,
yeah.
And did you watch the Michael Jordan documentary? I forget what it's called. Kind of. It's like I know so many people who watched it. They came away and be like, man, Michael Jordan's like just great and like just positive things.
My husband watched it, and I was in the room doing other things. That's sort of how I absorbed it. But he really likes basketball, and I don't care for basketball.
Did he take that personally?
But no. My husband takes nothing personally. He's like, yeah, but like also like he's like one of the best athletes of all time.
Yeah, I mean, you can make
you're crazy. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's other athletes. Yeah, I mean, probably. LeBron probably would give him a run for his money, but
he does not seem like a good person at all.
No,
maybe, but like Jordan, no. Like
no, I don't anticipate that. He's that level of skill and that level of confidence and that level of just like actually doing it. Like you can be confident, you can do the skill, and then he's also doing it and like he's killing it, and everyone's using it, and he's getting the feedback being like, you are the best. Yeah, that's gonna change your brain.
yeah, that's another part of it is if you're crushing literally everything, nobody puts you in your place, and nobody cares if you do something wrong. Like Tiger Woods, like they're so my grandma still loves Tiger Woods, although he did get dropped by his advertisers, but to be fair, their slogans were like kind of inappropriate with like what he was doing. Gatorade, Nike.
Yeah, just do it.
Is it in you? Yeah, so
you are
that's a little just
oh no. No.
A little too many jokes.
It's a little too on the nose right there.
Yep.
Oh no. It's
yeah, you should have stopped at 9 holes. Lots of jokes.
No. Oh yeah. I think it's safe to assume when you're that like famous and successful, they're kind of just a little bit of a psychopath.
I think there are like exceptions, but the norm is like them just being absolutely crazy. I think it happens less with women, but I'm not really sure. I guess.
Yeah, I think
just get less coverage, but
I think. Well, I mean, that's probably why they would be less. But like, because Serena Williams doesn't seem like a psychopath. She seems like she'd probably be a little bit intense to be around. But she doesn't seem. At least from what I've seen, I don't know this lady, but I think also if women come out and be like that, they get backlash for that. like
Oh
immediately.
yeah. Even if they're the best at their sport. Yeah.
Even if, I mean, Serena Williams gets that. I mean, Simone Biles gets that. Like all these people who are like the best, they get backlash. So like they have to also like act in a certain way so people still like them, because people will stop following them if they don't like them. Whereas men can be assholes and we're like, he's the best. So there's like actual repercussions for them being
as long as you're not committing crimes as a man, you get a pass. If you're the best, that's true.
Unfortunately, but I mean maybe
I guess that one skater, no, that doesn't even count because that was like her husband. The like incident where like her competitor got their legs broken or something. Someone hired someone to break the competitor's legs. It was like
Tonya Harding.
Yeah.
Tonya Harding and but she was white trash, so people didn't like her already.
Yeah, that's fair.
I watched that movie.
It was pretty good. It was a pretty good movie. I didn't watch all of it, but pick the wrong sport though to be unliked because the judges, like, it's judge-based sport.
And then I feel like she won in the end because she got to have Margot Robbie play her in a biopic. There's no Nancy Kerrigan biopic there.
Not yet.
And I knew who Tonya Harding was before I knew who the other Nancy Kerrigan was.
Yep.
She's infamous.
She used to be
smash those knees.
Yeah.
She used to be like a commentator on the like fail video things I used to watch back in the day. Like on some weird like True TV.
Tonya Harding?
Yeah.
That's such a wild pivot.
That's what I knew her from. Like as a child, she was on it was like a fitness fail video compilation series, and they'd count them down, and she was one of the people. And that's so what crazy. I knew her from. And then I looked her up because I was like, who is this lady? Because she wasn't the funniest. She was just sort of there. Yeah. And I would be like, and I was like, oh.
That's like knowing Mike Tyson is the guy who sells weed.
So Mike Tyson's the guy from The Hangover.
In The Hangover, he's playing himself.
That's true.
That was my first thought. I was like, Mike Tyson, the guy in The Hangover, but then I was like, but he's a boxer in The Hangover, right? That doesn't.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah. I just
exact same thought though. I was just thinking of Mike Tyson also as an example of some guy who like really, really good, also a bit crazy.
Definitely. He's got
like a light switch where it's like he's super chill and then super not chill.
Yeah, I feel like just there's just this level. Once you get to some point, you just like something clicks over and you're like, and especially if it lasts for a really long time, because you just maintain that level of psycho energy.
I have to imagine it's more common in contact sports as well.
That's a second. Yeah. Well, if you're getting punched in the head, things are gonna get rattled.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Yeah. I forgot about the contact sport of it all too. Football players and
well then it's like CTE and like those dudes be hitting their wives, like hitting everyone.
They sure do be.
But, when you like look up what CTE does and they like literally like all have CTE, it just depends how severe it is. It's like that makes sense.
That's part of why I stopped playing soccer, was because I kept I've had a couple of pretty rough concussions, and it was right around the time when I was finishing my college career of soccer, and I was like when that like Will Smith movie came out about the concussions, and I watched that like going into like I think my sophomore year or something of college, and I was like, oh, and I'm getting hit. Like I've gotten kicked in the face. Like I've been my world has been rocked several times. I was like, I'm just gonna not do this anymore.
Yeah.
Let's just let's just avoid being part of a Will Smith movie. Like I don't need that. And then I also had a girl on my team who had less concussions than me get knocked out cold on the field. And I was like, it was really scary. We had to go to a hospital and like wait for her. It was a whole thing, and that was like my sophomore year, and I was like, I don't know if I'm doing this anymore. There's other things, there's other factors like the coaching and all that stuff, but like I think this is I'm good. Like I don't need. I had issues with
some
the coaching.
spicy stories. Yeah.
I mean, I just played. I played goalie. There's one goalie on the field.
That makes sense.
And he refused to cut people. So there was 4 goalies on the team, and as soon as we made one single mistake, he would switch you out. Like
how many goalies is typical too?
2. maybe 3 in like a freshman who's learning.
Was he trying to give people play time? Was that the idea?
No, he was just a wimp.
Okay.
He just didn't. He just like was like weirdly like overly emotional in a way where he felt guilty cutting people. And so he didn't.
Yeah, but I mean swapping you more so than.
Oh no, it was a punishment.
Okay.
It was a punishment for failing and for messing up.
Almost like you should punish people by cutting them. Yeah.
And then, but then it just adds this extra pressure while you're on the field when it's already like a pretty high pressure position.
Yeah.
And and so it was just like, what's like if I like even if it didn't go in, like even if it wasn't a goal, it was just like you didn't do a catch while you whatever he would, or the kick didn't go where he like something like that. He would still.
You dive
so
in the
just
wrong
like
direction, but it doesn't go in.
Yeah, it was just stuff like that. I was just like, this is like I just like had like an anxiety in like my stomach every single time I was like out there in a way that was just like, this isn't fun anymore. like I get competitiveness. Like I was very competitive. I played on like travel league teams where we went all over the state. Like I get that, but there's also like you have to like have trust that your coach isn't going to hang you out to dry if you fumble, even if you do let a goal in. like you still have to like let them like reassess, but as soon as you like fumble the catch or something, you can see the other goalkeeper warming up and you're like fuck. Like you're like okay, and then it sucked. So lots of reasons, but the concussion was I probably would have powered through because I had some offers to play at like state colleges and stuff, but the concussions was really what was like, I think I'm done. Like I don't want my head to be rattled any further. It's already been rattled.
If I have kids, I'm definitely not letting them play football.
No.
It's like no. I'd rather have them like fight.
Fight?
I'd rather do MMA than football. In terms
wrestling?
Of the brain damage. There's a ton of concussions in wrestling. I mean,
is there?
Rather isn't necessarily letting them. They're just like in terms of hierarchy, I think football's the absolute worst. Maybe boxing.
Yeah.
The gloves
people are boxing in high school. Like
yeah.
But like people aren't boxing like in the numbers that people play football and like how young they start playing football. Like there might be like a youth.
There's a lot
boxing.
of after school like MMA gym, or there's a lot of MMA gyms that have after school programs targeted or geared, say, towards or like karate. There's like a lot of karate. For,
karate.
And there's like
I did do taekwondo.
Well, I'm talking about sports where they hit each other more.
Yeah, I don't know. Taekwondo hits.
Taekwondo, like Taekwondo comp is like they don't hit each other very hard. It's like
I don't remember anything about it.
And I was about to say the follow up is I don't think that they have the kids spar in Taekwondo.
I went to a mechanic's garage and he had put carpet on it and we
You might
practiced
spar there.
and that is where that is. It was like
Yeah.
it was Mike. And that's where we practiced. That was our very diligent teacher, and he was
Yeah.
also our mechanic.
Very nice.
But yeah, but I also, I guess, in terms of like that sort of, I lived in such a rural area. There was just like not access to like stuff like that when I was
Oh,
growing
that's
up.
yeah. That's I suppose you like always have access to football in rural
Football
areas.
is
Like football is more
football is always a
ubiquitous
thing.
or whatever.
And soccer, like football and soccer were the things you could do because that's always
Yeah.
a thing that was rotating.
But,
Even softball and baseball was less than that.
like if I go to like where there's actually like stuff because there's not much stuff like right where I live, and then like in a 10-mile radius from that, like there's probably like at least 20 or 30 gyms where you could learn MMA. Maybe 20-mile radius. Like there's a boxing gym like up the hill, and like I'm not gonna dox myself anyways.
No, that's fair.
Like
That's good. That's good. Let's see how specific we're getting with
yeah,
the
no, I
location.
realized the
Yeah.
trying to figure out where you live game. Like when
Yeah.
especially if you
Yup.
stream, I'm not interested in getting swatted, so
No. Don't get swatted. It'd be a lot. I feel like where I live, it'd be a little bit more tricky for them to get away with things like that. There's a
also
few
the
different lines.
consequences would be a lot more severe, right?
Yeah.
Than like swatting a civilian's house.
Yeah, there would be trouble, but for everything.
It should just be like attempted murder, but
yeah,
like calling in it's so like wild. There's like
it feels like an insane jump for any human to make to any just to a random person.
I like for people like listening to the podcast who don't know what swatting is, that's when you call the police and say that you like have a hostage or you have a gun, and you like give the location, the address of a streamer's house, so the police raid the house thinking that there's like someone with a weapon.
Yep. It's an insane decision to make.
Yeah.
I just like the amount of steps you have to go through to like to ruin,
to try and get someone killed.
straight up murdered. I don't understand it. Streaming sounds a little dangerous now.
Yeah, if you could, I don't know if I think there might be like massive like backlash if someone actually got killed that way, but it's like it's traumatic to like have the cops be like, get the fuck out of the house with your hands up.
We when we lived up in the mountains, lived in an apartment complex, and the one behind us was a little bit shady, and had kind of like there's things happening there. And my husband was at home, I was at work, and he got the door. Got banged on like super hard, apparently.
Yeah.
And apparently there was a line of officers at the door and a gun, and they were like, they asked for his name, and he was like, that's not my name. And they were like, well, what's this? And they like said the address, and he was like, that's not this address. He's like, that one. That building over there, please.
So I mean, like the knocking.
Yeah, because he's like, Jesus Christ, someone was really knocking on the door. Yeah. So no, that's our fun story. And then apparently in that house, because I saw a picture after we moved out of it, or the apartment, there was an actual SWAT team that went in, because I saw a picture of the door from the inside of the SWAT team going in, and I was like, that was where I lived. Who did they rent that apartment to? I don't remember what it was for. I think it was like attempted murder, or something very dramatic.
Yeah, that's a good reason.
But I was like, damn, that's where I lived. Like I saw like the railing and like whatever. I was like, oh,
Was
Those
your
poor,
neighbors?
it was like the nicest. No, it was like literally my apartment that I had moved out of. And
Oh,
I felt, yeah, and these old people who were so nice were the landlords, and I just imagined them like renting their apartment to
yeah.
this apparently psychopath. Because they just were so hands off and so cheap. I went to the bank and transferred money, and that was all we did.
Yeah.
And they were wonderful. And they rented the house to a psychopath.
That's
Oh,
rough.
it's
Hopefully it's
rough.
easy to evict people there.
I don't know, Central California. I mean, I'm sure they're gone
California?
now. I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's not easy to evict people in California.
Well, it was years ago now, and I think that they went to jail. So I don't know if that makes the process a little bit simpler if the person who was renting the apartment is.
But
I have no idea. It's not my problem.
that's true.
It's not my problem. I didn't look any further than going,
Yeah.
seeing like because I like followed my local newspaper, going, huh, that's the view from my apartment that I lived in. Huh, weird. It's a rough day. It's a rough day for everyone. Yeah. I don't miss Oakhurst though, so. But
if the homeowner's insurance that the renter or the couple had, the landlord had, paid for the broken door.
I have no idea.
It's
I assume that feels like it should be. We also had renter's insurance. We had renter's insurance.
Okay, that would make sense that would pay for it.
Someone's paying for it.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it's long. I mean, I don't know what they were doing. They're clearly up to no good if the door got broken. So I don't know what they were doing in the apartment. Also, so
a lot of I think a lot of those are drug related raids because they're trying to catch the drugs where they are.
Yeah.
As opposed to like.
I mean, that would make sense. There's nothing else to do in Oakhurst.
You could just pick someone up at work or when they're out or whatever. If it's like you're just trying to arrest them.
I guess that makes. I'm not up to anything that would be interesting enough for any law enforcement agency. For any of them to be interested in me, so I just have not thought about any of that in any capacity. I'm.
To be
fair. I just sit back here and play my games. Just still playing the same game over and over again because it's really fun.
Baldur's Gate has like the most retention out of like any game ever for like a year after release, I think.
Yeah, and they're putting out
numbers.
They're putting out a patch in September where there's like more endings. And expanding other things. So I'm sure more people will come back again for that.
I might have to play. I've never played Baldur's Gate.
You've never played Baldur's Gate? It's really fun.
I played the second one, but that's not.
I didn't play that one.
Long ago too.
I actually almost got it because on Steam. I almost got it just to try it. There's so many games to play. I don't know if I want to play like an older version of a game that I
think you need to have played it when you were like. A lot of those games like hit different when like you have the nostalgia factor, and like if you don't have that, like people look at those old games with like rose-colored glasses. A lot of them are just real bad.
Yeah, it's clunky. It doesn't quite work, and like I'm sure there's like, and like I know that there's like references to games in like into the old games in these games. I did download and I started Divinity, which is one of their other games, and apparently a lot of the like equipment that you can find is equipment that you can't find in Divinity. Like, so there's like references like to like kind of like shout out like you couldn't find any bedrolls in Divinity. There's so many bedrolls in this game. So there's like references and also like characters that were in those ones that came back around and things like that. But it's great. It's so much fun. I've put so many hours. I bought it twice, like because I played it on the Xbox, And then I
Okay.
got a PC, so I bought it for the PC.
Oof.
Honestly, I don't feel bad about it because I have put in enough hours that it doesn't feel like I've lost any money
That's
on
fair.
it. Like I put in I don't know how many hundred hours, something several hundred hours on the
several
Xbox,
hundred rookie numbers.
and then I've been playing it on here. Well, because I only got it in February or March when we moved here, because I didn't buy it before because I didn't want to get it and then not have access to it, because I knew that was going to annoy the crap out of me. Because we were living in the trailer, so we were playing games. I only had my Switch, so, and I always play offline games. Played a lot of zoo building games, but so as soon as we got this house, like the first week, I was like, now that we're here, guess what we're doing?
We don't need to do that. The stuff just stays in the boxes.
I mean, it was like, okay, we'll do like a couple hours of unpacking, and then let's stare at the Baldur's Gate screen and play for the rest of the day.
It's not multiplayer at all, right?
It can be.
It can be? Okay.
Yeah, I played with my husband. I played two full games with my husband. I've attempted to play with several people online. Has never actually worked out. Despite my best efforts, I've tried.
Just like a regular old adventuring party.
Yep, it feels aggressively close to any D&D. Yeah, so we played a couple times, and then he wants to play his other games that he likes to play with his friends. So he wandered off, and I kept going.
Yeah.
And now and then I was like, I wanted to get a PC because just generally it would be nice to have an actual computer.
I mean, if you're actually like editing stuff and then like you want to upload in 1080, because that's another like people will just like not click on the video if the video quality is like too low, or they'll just like exit immediately.
Yeah. So between all of the other things, and then my brother really wanted to play games online too. So now I have a PC, and so I can play and I can do mods, which is also fun, and play like Stardew Valley also. I am
less by genre.
Real basic bitch on the but I know who I am.
No, it's fair.
I'm not I know what I'm about.
The game I play a ton of is like a spreadsheet simulator.
What game do you play a lot?
Victoria 3. It's like a grand strategy map game. That's like the game I make videos for on the other channel. The non-strength.
So like, is it like Civ?
It's like way more complicated. Civ is like one way to make
I played Civ.
Civ is fun. Civ is great. Yeah.
I had that one on my Switch.
I think they had like the console like Civ, like not Civ 6 or Civ 3 or Civ 4 or 5 or whatever, but there was like a console 6. One. It was 6 on the Switch.
Well, I had 6 on the Switch. Or
that's 7? The current one. 7's coming out.
That must have been 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played that one. Actually, that was one that my husband liked to play, so I get to play on the actual Xbox, and he would use my Switch. I was like, yeah.
Perfect.
You get the small screen today, loser. I can play Kingdom Hearts again, or whatever the hell I want to do.
Isn't there like a new Kingdom Hearts coming out soonish? Or did one just...
who's to say?
Or was it maybe a remaster? I feel like there's some Kingdom Hearts.
They've been saying for like 2 years it's coming soon. So like it's like one of those games where it's like it'll probably come out, but like it's one of those games where I'm like, when it comes out, I'll play it and I'll be happy to play it. But I'm not gonna like wait for it. because I'll just be sad. Just be like, they delayed it again. I'm not gonna even look. I don't even want to know. I know they put out a new trailer and it was fun, but at this point I anticipate it's coming out in 2030 and I'll be like, ooh. Those are a fun one too. I just like action, I like adventuring games. That's more my style, because Civ was fun but it wasn't like for me. It turned more into a chore than.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
Yeah, I think we game very differently. It's
I pull out my spreadsheet. I can link you a spreadsheet. But
you've like a legitimate spreadsheet?
Yes. I can link you a video where I have like a 30-minute video of me just explaining the spreadsheet.
Oh my god, that sounds so. See, like that. I just feel if it doesn't like just like immediately give me the dopamine I want, I'm like, I'm done.
If I have to play as a human I can identify with, I'm out.
That's so insane to me. I just want to play as a person and get better and like.
You're to escape the feels.
Yeah, well, and but like I'm playing as a person who has like almighty power, who can like fight gods and evil and win, and they win. And that's what I want, because that's not reality. I want
different kind of escape.
Yeah, you're like, I want to sit in my numbers, and I'm like, I would like a sword. That's what I would like. I would like a sword, and I would like magic. I would kill for some magic. Tarot cards can only do so much for me.
Yeah.
I want to blast fireball out of my hands.
The next step is psychedelics.
I mean, I don't think they're all mushrooms. I'm allergic.
Is it really fake if you see the fireball? Who knows?
Maybe that's the answer. Maybe that's the answer. I don't think I play anything where I'm not like at least semi a person.
Even Civ, technically, you're playing as the leader of all the strategy games. In Civ 6, technically, you pick the leader.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, because in that I was like Cleopatra or something. Or whatever. You pick them because you get like different points.
Yeah.
For that, you get different like whatever it's called, like an advantage points, and you have people who are already like you and stuff. But I don't know. I just like adventuring. I just like want to run around and I want to hit things with my sword. Even in Stardew Valley, my favorite part of that game is not the farming; it is the mines, and I just want.
Oh, the mines! You might be playing the wrong game. It might be time for some Minecraft.
No, God damn it! The children yearn for the mines.
Yeah, they do. Make miners again.
Yeah, that's what they want. That's what they want to do. I don't. Just put them back in there. Let them use those tiny fingers to get in those little pull those diamonds out. Made for mining. Yeah. What else are you gonna do with them?
Wild how there was a lot of job positions that specifically needed kids. Because they're the only one that would. They're
nimble little fingers.
Or just to climb inside the machine.
Yep.
A man would get crushed if he climbs inside. Let's send a child instead.
Oh, makes sense. Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
This is why I don't have children, though, so.
The strategy back then was to have extras.
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want any of it. I'm like aggressively cool with being like a fun aunt. I feel like that's me staying in my lane. Just go bring him cute toys and really loud toys to annoy my brother.
Perfect.
Let me bring this one that just screams. I want to get him, my nephew. There's this one toy that like sings back any sound that makes, and I want to get him that because I feel like that would drive him up the wall. And that's all I want to do.
The talking bass toy comes to mind, or it's not a toy. That's actually, I feel like, a thing that husbands enjoy, and it annoys the wives. The singing bass.
I remember that.
Yeah.
No, I made the connection.
In hallways, the kids click all the buttons of all the basses, and that just annoys the employees.
We totally had one of those. It would sing, "Don't worry about it."
Yeah,
it was great. It was the best.
what is it? My friend like complained about having too many mugs, so I bought his wife a mug, like Christmas or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like, what? Oh, you don't want him to? I'm gonna.
She
be
has
like,
too many mugs, you say?
Do you want a drum kit? Do you want a drum kit, buddy?
Yeah, perfect.
What can I get you that will just, my brother was really annoying our whole childhood, so like, let me.
Yep.
Yeah, I bet because I know my sister-in-law's brother is like a musician. I bet between the two of us we could wreak havoc upon this house. And plus he's the only kid in the family. Yeah, and then leave.
Important detail.
Here's a bunch of candy. Here's a drum kit. I'll see you later, buddy. This is what I'm built for.
You've never had coffee before.
Oh, what? Honestly, my brother is such a coffee person. I'm sure that kid's gonna have coffee way too young. That's honestly
gross.
I mean, he'll probably make like steamed milks and things to start.
Yeah.
Have you ever bought a coffee?
Yes.
And then found out it was actually a steamed milk? Because I did that. There was like a fun drink at a local coffee shop, and I would get it, and then I did not know that it was just milk. It was just milk with syrup in it. It was the most aggressively disappointing thing I've ever had. I was just like, and then I like went back and like looked at the website, and I was like, oh my god, I just ordered milk. I ordered a hot milk. This is the worst thing I've ever experienced. And then you can't go up to them and be like, can you, like, it's too late. I generally
order black coffee. So
I know, I like a fun themed beverage.
I like my coffee how I like my women, cold and bitter.
Oh, a nice coffee.
Yeah.
I got I got a drink today, had sparkles in it. So
this the dualities of person.
Sparkles and a coconut, not coconut, a cantaloupe foam.
I like the taste of the coffee to remind me that I'm drinking it because it has a psychoactive element.
I just want.
I don't want it to be a party.
I feel if I'm spending the money to buy coffee, it's gonna be fun because I can make a black coffee.
I want to wince slightly and be like, caffeine.
Oof. No. No. Do you not do like energy drinks or anything?
I do energy drinks. I love energy drinks. They taste so much better now than they used to like 10 years ago. It's like crazy how much the technology's improved.
Yeah. What kind of better do you have, like a brand?
I tried tons of different ones. Overall probably Reign is probably my favorite. There was one I tried really recently that like tastes like a pina colada, but like without the alcohol, obviously.
Is that the Bang? The Bang pina colada?
Not the Bang. I've kind of come off Bang a little bit, to be honest.
I used to do Bang.
Redcon.
A lot.
Vice City.
Never heard of that. When I lived in El Cajon, there was a shop, and you could buy a flat of Bangs for like it was like less than $1 per. And so that's what I would do. I would just buy a flat of them, and you could split it into 50-50 into 2 flavors. And that's what I would do. And that was the best. It was so good.
I think I started drinking Reign more than Bang because it was cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And because it tastes better. I
like Celsius a lot.
Celsius, I think, has less caffeine per.
It does have less caffeine.
Yeah.
That was an intentional decision because I was trying to drink like less caffeine. Yeah. And the Alanis, they're also the same.
Those are super good.
Those are really tasty though. But Banks tend to be on sale on bases. They have some sort of deal. So like there's also like special flavors that are just available on bases.
Like?
It used to be like a purple, it was like a Skittles flavor. It used to just be on base. And then a strawberry flavor that used to just be on base. But they've expanded it now so that everyone can get them.
Are they trying them out on the military?
They might be.
That,
The strawberry one's great. The strawberry one's really good. But also, I mean, everyone here has a problem with energy drinks. Like that's just like a pretty well-known thing. So there's like a pretty expansive collection of energy drinks in the commissary. So
I feel like fucking up your sleep schedule is something that the military just like by necessity does a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
oh my god. The other night they were doing like artillery and like some sort of explosive training for like 3 nights till like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning.
fun.
It was for us too. I was just laying there like, oh no, this is the worst.
Gotta get the earplugs.
Yeah, I have like a sleep mask. I have my blackout. Yeah, no, it was a rough couple of nights. Usually it's not so bad, but like at Carson, it wasn't so bad, but here it's a little. I think the way that we're situated, it hit. it was the sound was not light in our
Have you tried
our
earplugs?
house.
I guess earplugs. The downside is the dogs would eat them.
No, she doesn't really care for. She doesn't really chew on stuff like that.
That's fantastic. But thought she was a crazy dog.
She is a crazy dog, but she's not really. She's not. Yeah, she doesn't really chew or just she's destructive for her toys, but like that's it. When she was a puppy, she destroyed like 1 pair of shoes and that was it. Yeah, my stuffed shoe doesn't really. She's not ever really chewed or destroyed, which is great.
She has like or you have like this don't pet vest for her. Does she like ever like nip at people who like try and touch her?
No, not really. She just barks. She just barks. And I used to live next to a school. Like I used to, like I guess I still kind of do. Yeah. But I used to live, and our walking path was next to the school, and I tend to walk her like in the mornings. So there would be kids walking to school, or kids like parents walking with their little ones back from the school from dropping their kids off. And I just had to explain to every person that their child cannot run with their fingers full speed at my dog. Like that's just like why would you do that? So it just relieved problems, because if someone sees that, they go, oh, she's mean or she's aggressive, and she's not really. She's just kind of loud. Yeah. But I don't ever want to put her in a situation where she could make a mistake and get into trouble. But she's never bit anyone. We went to the vet today for stuff, and she walked around. There was like all sorts of dogs barking and whatever, and she was great. So she just has really bad separation anxiety. And she's protective of me specifically. So if the dogs had ran at me, like actually on our run this morning, this little yappy mini dog ran at us, and she like got on this side because she tends to run on this side, and like guarded and barked and yelled at the dog. But the dog was full sprinting at us. So it's like, I can't really like be mad at her, but it's really just a preventative thing. And she also hates bikes. Yeah. Oh, we hate bikes. It's a day ruiner. It's the spokes. And like to the point where now I see bikes and I'm like, even if I'm not with her, I'm like, oh, these fucking bikes.
Hate them.
Hate them.
Like electric bikes are like a bit popular near where I live, and like being a pedestrian and having one of those like e-bikes fly by you at like 30 miles an hour on the sidewalk is like, it's like, bro, if I like saw a snail and stepped to the left, like we would be having like
issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I lived in San Diego, the scooters were the thing. And I worked in North Park, which is like a pretty hip little spot. So there's so many people on those fucking scooters. Oh my God. Like scootering from brewery to brewery or whatever the hell they were doing. And I almost got ran over so many times. It's like, I guess I don't know if there's a rule against it.
Technically, you're not allowed to operate any bike on the sidewalk. That's what the law is. It doesn't get enforced at all.
No.
You're like, yeah. And so like, you're kind of, you're just not allowed to have the bike on the sidewalk, but there's no infrastructure for biking.
No.
Like in a lot of like places. So like
I get biking is a good way to be healthy and also a faster way to move, but also I find them wildly inconvenient every time I see them. Like they're always just like a pain. They're always in the way in the road. They're always in the way on the sidewalk. And now I have an extra hatred of them because they make my dog lose her shit 9 times out of 10. Right. Actually, we'll give it a 7 out of 10 now. She's better. She's gonna. It's a process that she's improving upon. But 7 out of 10 she's gonna bark at the bicycle or the motorcycle, which actually she's also getting better at because my neighbor has a motorcycle and apparently he's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. But like I said, she's not really a chewer though, except for her toys, which she shreds. And the door trim when we let her out when we leave.
That's not ideal. But...
No, that's why she has a crate. And also why she doesn't really get left alone for very long periods of time or at all. It's a real pain. I mean, I guess we've talked for a podcast length, right?
We have. Like zero talking about lifting.
Well, what are you working on? Let's we'll bring it back. We'll bring it back. Are you working on anything right now?
We'll just cut out the first hour, whatever.
We'll just
We'll
bookend it with fitness. At college.
I was about to peak, and just hitting the end of my program, and then I hurt my collarbone somehow, or I'm not sure exactly what is going on. Normally, I kind of just like let my body heal. I might have to see the doctor on this one. Very strange, whatever it is, because I just can't support weight out in front of me at all. It is very painful, but I have full range of motion. And so I think it's from catching a jerk coming down funny with like 295 or something. And so like I think I just caught it just on this side and like failed to catch it on like this side. And like I stumbled forward, it hurt, and I was like, and then like caught a clean funny where I was just like catching it with one hand and the other hand wasn't like the elbow's not high enough, like it's a mobility issue. But so the weight just crashes down here instead of crashing both sides. And I can't clean 600 pounds, and so cleaning like 280 and then like catching it on the side is because I'm not Lasha. Lasha's gonna do it tomorrow probably, or today. I don't know the schedule, but I even have this is smelling salts.
Oh.
It says yeah. It's smelling salts. There's like
I've never used smelling salts. I don't know that I need to for any. Do I? Do I need to use salt? I mean, I eat Sour Patch Kids on your recommendation. So
here's the thing: placebos are really effective, really, really effective. There was a study that was done for smelling salts that showed that it didn't work better than a placebo, but it was also a terrible study because it was done on untrained athletes and it was done for sets of 10, and really it only gives. Or like max effort for like reps. And it really only gives you a kick for like 10 to 15 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's very, very narrow like window. But it really works well for me. Even if it's just a placebo effect.
If it works, it works.
I don't care if it's a placebo. Like I actually I was looking into buying capsules and just filling them with like water and just taking those because they would be effective even if they just have water in the capsule.
Yeah. I guess if it's only for like 10 to 15 seconds, it probably wouldn't be effective for bench pressing because it takes so long to set up.
I found it to be effective for bench pressing, and I was very
but you get off the rack though. Whereas like my setup, I like pull it like off the floor. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, I think the heaviest I did without smelling salts was like 185 or 170 before a couple weeks ago when I did 190 without it, and then I was like, we're going up there if we could do this without the smelling salts. But then it's
Yeah.
also just like I only use them in like the back third of my program when I'm peaking, and so I just associate it with like maximal effort,
Winning.
right? And so like I'll also just like take lifts a lot more safe, like when I'm not like in that
That's
mode.
fair.
It's like if something's close, I'd rather just like fail it or not do that extra rep because there's not you don't get much return on failed reps
No.
in terms of getting stronger. Other than like being psychologically better at like when it's
Pushing.
close, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think my ability to grind through reps like that comes mostly from sport more than anything. Because I've been able to, because I know that like, because there comes a point when you're doing a 10-minute set, at minute like 4.5 and minute like 9,
Yeah.
where your brain is going, this is really hard, put this shit down. And that's sort of the same thing I get in my mind when I do like when I get to like those reps where it's like, oh no, it's getting a little shaky. And it's kind of like there's like a lot of sticking points. But like because I've done so many reps of sport where it's like, you're gonna drop it. This is really hard. This is really bad. And I've done them and done it anyways. I think mentally I have that like I kind of just like we'll do it.
Max effort bench press is definitely a lot different than like any other max effort lift because you can fight with it for an extended period of time.
There's a lot of grind.
Usually, like what I've been finding interesting is like towards the bottom at the very end, like just actually being really relaxed, like helps me a lot. Like just like being
That's
really
so
aggressive at the start and then like at the end, just like not like relaxing my body at all, but like taking breaths and just like taking my time and just like as long as I don't like freak out and like miss position, I can just be here for a while if I need to.
Yeah, I can sit in that bottom position for a second. And I do. Like if I take that breath and like steady myself because if I rush out of it, you get wobbly.
You also come up different than I do because you windmill up and I squat.
Yeah, I do. That's true. Yeah, I find I mean but like I don't know, max effort days are so I feel so weird to me because sometimes I train for months and try and attempt and I fail. But like when I did the one I just got, when I hit a new PR, I was just messing around.
Yeah.
Like there was zero intention behind going there. But I did 104 pounds and it felt easy. And I was like, huh, weird. And then I sat for a second and I was like, do I want to just like stop at 104? Do I want to just like see if I can tie? And I was like, well, if I'm going to see if I'm going to tie, why not just attempt? Like, what? I'm not like, there's no. Just go for it.
I never do my PR weights ever. Like, I always do like 5 pounds over because it's like.
Yeah. It just sort of happened. It was just like super random. And I came into the house, my husband was home, and I was like, should I just go for it? He's like, yeah, just go for it. And I was like, all right. So I was like, he's like, was it hurt?
That's what I'm saying.
I think that's part of it. And also like, I know my like mentally, like when I'm working up to something or like a big lift, there's a lot more pressure on it, like for me in my head. Yeah. And so like, I just was like, well, if I fail it, who cares? Like there's no build, there's no nothing, whatever. But like, as soon as I got it on my shoulder, I was like, oh yeah, this is happening. Like I just like immediately knew and I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to get a new PR today.
I have the same thing where like, if I get into position, like I just like, and the position feels good, the start position, then like the rest of it's like free.
Yeah.
Like,
I got here and I was like, oh shit, all right. I guess we're going for it today. And it felt great. And then I got it on both sides. And I was like, no plan. Like I hadn't been training really for 2 weeks because like doing
It's so crazy
my
to me.
programming, and my mom was in town, and I was cleaning. I built like I had all sorts of stuff going on. Like I went and bought stuff to build a fence. Like like there was so much stuff happening.
Another thing, like I think the program where I hit like 200, the amount of bench presses I'd taken over 60 or 70% in the last 3 months was like, I think under 10 or something.
Yeah.
And
so it was
like,
super.
It's such a weird lift. I mean, I was training for it, but I was
lift.
doing only accessories.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
But I was doing it. I've been doing it a bit differently this time around, but now it's not going to matter because I don't think I can. Well, this isn't down in front of me. What's crazy to me is I might be able to bench press, but I can't lift a 20-pound box. I can't help like my mom move some books, but like if something's back here, I think I could lift it just fine.
It's so weird. That is weird.
Like out in front, no.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just like a weird. It just worked in a way, and I was like, okay, I'll take that. Like, I'll take a win. I'll take it whenever I can get it. Yeah, I do think I it was also, but I was feeling kind of like weirdly like achy, but I still felt fine. But I've also felt like vaguely achy since I lived in the trailer.
Something with water.
I don't know. It was just like the bed was so bad, so like it just made everything hard to function as a person. Maybe I should go to a doctor at some point, but I probably won't. So
I'm in the like same boat. I'm just like, but like when it's like soft tissue, like ligament damage, like it's either we fucking repair the whole thing, or like, and you're just out, right?
Yeah.
Or like, yeah, there's nothing we can do. Like,
I don't know. And I also like, yeah, it's not that bad. It's just like, some days I feel it, and I'm like, okay. But I'm redoing another program now, and I'm kind of halfway doing that program that I know you hated with a lot of volume. But I'm not doing it to that capacity. I'm doing a lot of like working up, and I'm hanging around like the 60% mark more than I am the heavy stuff mark.
It's so like this range of like 65 to 75% for whatever reason is so much harder for me to execute than in like 75 to 85%. My 1 rep max. Like when I'm warming up, I fail most often in that range than I do.
Weird. Maybe because you're not the weight's not pushing it down as far.
That's like my only thought is like I'm not getting the full deep compression. But then like the thing is with both sides. So like my left is significantly weaker than my right, and it's not like at a certain weight; it's at a certain percentage that it starts to get easier. So like, because with my left,
I mean that's the only thing I can think.
200, so
would be like the compactness, but that's also not an issue I come up with at all. Like being like getting into that wedge position.
Yeah,
because I'm pretty freaking mobile.
Yeah,
like that's just.
I think the like kettlebell start position where it's really far and back and you're like really twisted into it. I don't think I can physically get there with my lats.
Because my back position, even with the barbell, I'm still like my elbows hitting my tailbone.
You're like the like perpendicular start, whereas I'm just like where like your elbow is like perpendicular with your sternum.
Yeah,
right? And I'm like side to side, like parallel with sternum. With like my start, I mean it's a little deeper than that, but like the rotation's not that deep. I also go like right to left, and you go like back to forward, like it looks more kettlebell style.
Yeah, it just works. My body likes it. I tried to do more of the squared off type one because I was playing around with it, but it just doesn't feel as effective for me. And why am I gonna break if it's not, or fix something that's not broken? Like if it's not.
The video where the guy does 126, he like grabs his like ankle when he does it, and it looks like he pushes it, dirty presses it out, and like I tried to do it like that, and I just felt so much weaker than just like.
In the video I posted this morning, my hand's on my ankle.
Is that effective for you?
It's I'm not really pushing off my ankle so much as confirming that I am into my body really tight. Like I'm not like it's my hands. It's just like when I do like a windmill, you kind of like raise your hand down your leg. I'm doing the same thing, but like it's not like I am holding. I do kind of like, I don't know, it's like a little grab at the end, like a little.
Yeah.
It's not so much of a press, but I do like my hand stays like really close. Sometimes I do hold my ankle for a second.
I know like the OG books or like Arthur Saxon's book says like you push off of your opposite leg or you like rest your forearm against it, and like I can't do that either. I can't actually get deep enough into the position, so I just stick like my entire offside shoulder through my legs. Like, so I don't rotate to the side. Like at the end, instead of I guess I switch from rotating from the side to like rotating between the legs. Like at the
I'm like legit like on the ankle. It's like it's not like a thing I thought about doing. It's just a thing that happened. Like a lot of my technique things that people are like, why did you do that?
Yeah.
It's just like what my body, same thing with like the stomp. Like when I did the stomp with the kettlebell, it wasn't something that I thought about. It was just something that happened.
That feels like good for priming your body. I can't do it with my new rack setup. I can't stomp.
I can't. I know with the barbell I can't really stomp. I do step back into the barbell.
Yeah.
Though.
If you unrack it and
so
you
I still
it out, you can stomp. But
yeah.
That also like walking it out seems like. If you're not used to it, it seems like really not good.
I don't have a rack. Like I'm doing off the floor.
Oh, you gotta get a rack.
No, I'm good. I carry this thing through the window.
You can get one of the Olympic racks. I bet they're not that expensive. You know what I'm talking about?
I guess, yeah. It's just like the. It's just like the little.
Yeah, and then like they're like.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm fine with the room. I'm fine doing things.
I mean, some people don't consider it a full bench press, anyways. If you unrack it instead of off the ground.
No, I don't have any like. I don't know. I don't have any dog in my fight. Like if you're putting the weight over your head and you're doing it like this, it feels like a bench press to me.
I actually think like walking it out might be harder. Like so.
It probably is.
You get your foot position perfect.
The idea of adding another thing into this very compact space just doesn't feel like a feasible option.
You have room for one more poster, but
I know. I'm trying to figure out what to put there. I had my light up thing there, like my light up sign, but when I moved, either it broke or the plug doesn't work, or maybe I found the wrong plug. So it's open now. It fell off the wall. So I'm hoping I'll find something in the next couple of weeks. Or I don't know. If somebody has a suggestion, I'm open. I need something there. It's really weird that it's just like a perfect square that's open.
Yeah. I don't like it. Story is what it looks like.
It's just literally.
You could also just raise the other one underneath it up, and it would look like normal.
No, that's where that one goes. It's that one doesn't belong. It's Edward Cullen, and it's a weird blurry photo. He doesn't belong. He doesn't belong next to Shrek. This is not. He's not on that level. No, that one's honestly, it's so stupid because it's definitely a screenshot of a meme that someone blew up. Like it's so.
Is the resolution like terrible?
It's so blurry, which is so funny, and I love it because it's so stupid. But I can't put him up any higher. He doesn't. He hasn't earned the spot.
Fair.
Yeah. What's funniest about that is he is now a person in my photos. Like I can search Pitbull because he's in the background of so many videos.
Yeah. How he drew it up. He really is worldwide.
He's been there, he's done that. I can trust him. He belongs. So we can't put Edward Cullen up there. Well, my headphones are starting to die, so I think that means we have to wrap up the call.
That makes sense. We talked about lifting for like 10 minutes.
It's cool. Yeah, it's fine. We'll come back. We'll do another actual lifting one.
I'm like also less fired up because I'm injured. or like
Yeah.
yeah.
It's cool.
I think I could.
It's my podcast, so I can talk about.
That's
I put
fair.
talk about life. I put talk about life
Yeah.
too. So we talked about life and life things.
We talked about athletes a lot too, I guess. Too.
Yeah, we had a lot of athletes, so it counts. So thanks for coming on last minute. I really appreciate you. Where can people find you on the internet?
So my Instagram, which is like my more fitness oriented stuff, is peter.curtis. I also have a YouTube channel, Generalist Strength. Those are like my lifting ones. I have a ideas channel, Generalist Ideas, and a gaming channel, Generalist Gaming. Gaming was kind of the active one, and I play the aforementioned spreadsheet game on that one, and that's probably the biggest. It is amazing. I can link you a video of me talking about a spreadsheet for 40 minutes. It's very exciting.
I'll watch it. I'll put you on.
It's definitely not. But that's where you can. That's kind of what I got going on.
Sweet. Well, I'm sure we'll talk. We'll talk soon.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
Yep. It was fun.
And that's it.
Oh, you don't know where the button is.
I can't find it. I'll just trim this.
Terrible. No, don't trim it out. Leave him the shame.
And that was my chat with Peter. He is wonderful. I know we went a little bit all over the place, but in the intro, I do say life and more in addition to like strength and training. So I feel like we just, leaned in to the life and more aspect of the podcast today. We came back around to the strength training too, though. So, it all works out. So I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you're following Peter on all the things, his YouTube, his gaming channel, his Instagram. They're all linked in the show notes. Check him out. He's awesome. And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe, or leave a comment. Anything really makes my day and also just helps more people to find the podcast. And don't forget, my Gamer's Guide to Fitness is still available. It's always going to be available. And it's a 10-week program focused on building your Turkish get-up and learning how to use a steel mace. It's awesome, and I am so excited for people to enjoy this program. So check it out. If you have questions, leave them in any of the comment sections of any of the podcast places, or just send me a message. Have a wonderful day, and we'll be back real soon with another awesome guest with another great episode. Bye!